Hello viewers to Sounding Board, and tonight we're going to talk about the complete series of Heroes Reborn and what I thought of it. I thought the series was strong when it started, and I figured out early they were doing kind of a slam on DC Comics, but it was wrote fairly decent in at least the first 3 issues. And then it starts tapering off by this issue here. And then when you get, I think this is the Dr. Spectrum issue where it really where it starts tapering off and really making these characters darker than what they should be. They were already getting dark that way anyways, but they were trying to, I think, do a slam on DC Comics Justice League, because that's what because the Squadron Supreme is actually a parody, Marvel's version of the Justice League, and stuff like that. As you can see with Power Princess, who is basically an incarnation of Wonder Woman. And then we got the last issue where I picked up the alternate cover of Thor. And then we get into Heroes Return. But let's go back to Heroes Reborn for a minute and how it starts tapering off. There's parts missing in the story, it feels, and it feels rushed by the time you get halfway through, because the start of the series is actually really filled out well. The second leg of the series is really rushed, almost feels like it's there to meet a deadline, and it's there to try to sell crossovers, which you didn't really need the crossovers for this series. They didn't need to even, they were just not worth printing. I picked up the Spider-Man one, and he died in that issue. I don't even know why they even printed it. I'm not going to tell you how Mephisto fits into this, but it does have kind of a surprising ending, or not so surprising, depending how you look at it. But it revolves around Mephisto, and you've got Captain America floating around in the background scenes, and Blade by the time you get halfway through the series, because the first series opens with Blade, but then changes to hero perspective of the Squadron Supreme. And that was fine if it all started with the Squadron Supreme like Avengers issues, and then focus on Blade in the first 2 issues mainly, and then changes focus to the Squadron Supreme. But as it progresses, the characters from when you go from Hyperion to the last issue, which is Power Princess, because they're all individual issues about each character, or is it Nighthawk? One of the two. It just kind of loses steam and connection. It loses its connection with the audience. Either focus on the return of the Avengers in this universe to lead into the Heroes Reborn series, or stay on the whole track of the Heroes Reborn and maybe make them more heroes than anti-heroes. Because if you made them more heroes, the return of the Avengers fighting for their place back in the world would have meant something by the time we get to the last issue. Because by the time we get to the last issue, we want the Avengers to beat the hell out of these guys, because they're not nice people. They have the illusion in their heads they're nice, but they're not nice. And that the world does need Captain America, Thor, and every other surviving Avenger they can find to save the universe. But yeah, like I said, it's a good read still anyways. But overall, if you didn't follow the series during the weeks it came out, I would say not go out of my way for it. Go out of the way for the back issues, but just go for the trade paperback if you're that interested in reading it. it should be out soon anyways. Because Marvel is known in DC as well for printing trade paperbacks even before the series is finished, already soliciting it so it comes out within 2 weeks of the series ending. But for the most part, like I said, I enjoyed the series. I just picked it up because it was getting bad press, and I was curious of why it was so bad. And then as I read, I go, wow, this ain't too bad when I first started it. And like I said, as I continued it, it's like, I don't like this whole slamming of the Justice League just for the sake of slamming the Justice League. And making these characters quite unredeemable, which have been semi-useful cornerstones in the Marvel Universe. And then all of a sudden making them do this 180 that they're selfish, bad people. When in all actuality, it would have been nice maybe to make them more like the Justice League series with where the Justice League goes through this portal and they end up in this alternate universe where all the heroes are really dead, and it's kind of like a hybrid version of the JSA. Justice Guild of America is what they're called. And at the end of the day, they have to decide, do they want to live, or are they heroes and need to do what needs to be done? These characters never had the option of being heroes. Squadron Supreme never had the option in this series to do what heroes need to be done. No, they just made them villains. And maybe that's just poor writing, or is that a representation of how the world views heroes today? But until next time, this is the Sounding Board, signing off.